Hi, it's Lee and welcome to the Tesla Economist. What is the biggest issue with Tesla? We look deep into Tesla, their financials, production, suppliers, resources, customers, products, everything we can think of related to the company to make sure this is the great investment we hope. Is Tesla capable of producing the products they say? Are there even enough resources on the planet to achieve that? Will there be enough customers who want these products? And we tend not to find too many flaws. We even try to evaluate the entire auto industry, along with thorough competitive analysis and influence from governments, whether positive or negative, and even analyse the economic outcomes to nations and societies. The mission still seems possible, from everything we can tell, but these are the internals of the company. There are other forces at play as well that can also affect Tesla's growth and potential. We have the macro environment too. Whilst most businesses' main issue with macro environment is the potential of a recession, where customers drop, sales are down, profit is down, they have to downsize, and the economy weakens. From what we can tell is Tesla will not have this problem. They have massive buffers, one being high prices with huge margins that could be reduced if more demand was ever necessary. The other being that Teslas have a long waiting list anyway. A recession generally tends to last around 18 months until the economy corrects itself, a short enough time period for Tesla to get through. But what if things got really bad and even Tesla couldn't sell enough cars to make a profit? Well, in this case, then the other auto manufacturers would go out of business first. In the worst economic environments, Tesla has the strongest chance of survival due to the insane demand they have and the fact they offer such great value and low cost of ownership. But not only that, their financials are in a much healthier position, with minimal debt, especially compared to legacy competition, who have more debt than their market caps and very slim margins, and other EV manufacturers who have absolutely insane costs and make no profits. This means if things got really bad, they would all go under first, thus reducing supply of any other auto competition, which means if there are fewer competitors, Tesla's demand will increase again, as there are no other alternatives. People always need cars in any economic climate. If we don't have transport, then we literally can't survive. Then, of course, soon enough, Tesla will also offer the lowest form of transit possible, with robotaxis or vans. So if people can't afford cars, they can afford to use robotaxis. Oh, and before you say, the government won't allow this, well, in this scenario, they have no choice, unless they want a revolution or people to die of famine. Even if it meant sometimes people even got hit by robotaxis, it's still a much smaller cost than people not getting food. However, even a company as vertically integrated as Tesla is not without its limiting factors or bottlenecks or potential issues. Tesla is not in control of the whole process. In general, you don't need to control everything for certain reasons. For example, a lot of people think Tesla should make their own semiconductors for their vertical integration, especially since we saw all those semiconductor shortages due to COVID supply chain issues, but they appear to have been rectified, at least for Tesla. Legacy autos, perhaps not so much. Legacy autos are not using the latest chips, in fact far from it, and no one really wants to make their antiquated chips anymore. BYD do make some of their own chips, however, but we can only imagine just how bad they are. Chip making is not a simple process. It takes about 10 years to get a decent yield and quality level. Tesla doesn't have that sort of time. Plus, there are chip makers that do a much better job than likely even Tesla ever can. For example, TSMC is the Tesla of semiconductor companies. The barriers to entry to reach their level are insurmountable. So there's no point in Tesla getting into the likes of semiconductors. There is far too large an opportunity cost when they could be working on so much more, and they'll end up with lower quality chips and less economies of scale that they may even cost more. Instead, Tesla are doing super clever things like making various chips do multiple functions and thus reducing the number of chips even required. Yes, Taiwan is a concern for many, but TSMC are setting up a new fab in Arizona and shouldn't be too far off where Taiwan is in perhaps just a few years' time, as there is too much liability depending on one foreign nation for your entire business, in case anything happens to that nation and your business grinds to a halt. Sure, Tesla use something like 40 or so semiconductor companies as it is for various components, and they're able to use various microcontrollers too, and reprogram them at great efficiency when necessary. But if Tesla are going to be a true AI company, they also need the best tech, which comes from TSMC. Although TSMC is not independent either, and requires technology from other companies like Cyma, a company in San Diego that makes the flattest mirrors for ASML laser etchers. If I recall, they may even be sourcing lasers from the Netherlands too. My point is, TSMC can't reach their amazing technology without other companies that also have achieved theirs and require globalization to continue. And there's no point in Tesla reinventing the wheel when others are doing it already so much better. It's different if there's a massive cost saving and improvement in rate of production, like reinventing the battery and cell, but it doesn't need to be done for everything. Even if they could, it's not necessary. But who knows, perhaps Tesla may end up inventing their own cameras that are designed more around FSD or something, just as an example as to why they may reinvent certain components. The other reason not to worry about further vertical integration is diversified competition. For example, when it comes to mining and Tesla need nickel, there are many mining companies, likely all wanting to compete for Tesla and secure a long-term contract with them. Companies like Vale in Brazil, but then also entire nations like Indonesia, who have already offered Tesla a factory there already. If there is enough competition in a free market, then Tesla can just let the market supply certain minerals. It's when you get into cartels or certain supply chain processes that are controlled within a monopoly or only a certain nation when you run into potential issues. Which is where I see the biggest issue with Tesla. The refining, particularly lithium, is only really done in China, presumably because it's such a dirty process not many other nations are comfortable with it, along with the lower cost. But this is something Tesla brought up as early as Battery Day, explaining how there is an abundance of lithium in the world for us to transition to lithium-ion batteries. In fact, enough just in Nevada for the entire US to have electric vehicles, but it's the refining that is the biggest issue. Elon and Drew even explained how they're working on new techniques for lithium mining and using a saline extraction method. The lithium refining industry will be huge, and there is so much profit to be made. New processes need to be researched and discovered in order to speed up the process and make the entire process a lot cleaner and more environmentally friendly. Anyway, Tesla are on top of this, and we have heard rumors that Tesla will build a lithium hydroxide refinery in Texas. Lithium hydroxide is the grade of lithium that is required for nickel cells due to their high energy density. It is a more thorough refinement process, but the cells do require high quality lithium. LFP cells, being less energy dense, can use the lower cost technical grade lithium, which is easier to refine and more abundant as a result, another advantage that LFP offers over nickel. If we combine Tesla's potential lithium mining with Nevada, then processing in Texas, along with their cathode plant, then this is a huge step. Vertical integration is great at reducing costs, but it's also really good at creating more control in your company, and you're not left with other suppliers who fail to deliver. You have more control over the entire process, thus further mitigating risks. Of course, being Tesla, I'm sure they will do what they can to find the best process that is also the best for the environment. Yes, Tesla is not without some risk, but we have a great community to keep tabs on what's important. We have an outstanding company who are aware of these potential issues and working on solutions to problems that they see as far as next decade. There may be more hurdles on the way, but Tesla will still be in a better position than anyone else. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.